I'm not entirely sure why no one talks about Seitokai Yakuindomo. In a way, it's not really underrated, with 2 seasons, numerous OVAs, 2 movies, and well over 600 manga chapters as of the writing of this review, and yet it's still not given the attention I think it deserves. It could be that, as purely Japanese comedy, a ton of jokes are hard to localize and understand, let alone capture a wide Western audience. But I'm sorry, this is funny as shit. Suda's entering high school, a formerly all-girls school to be exact. Reprimanded by the student council president Shino, Suda is soon recruited into the council to represent the student body, literally. Suda is chosen for the express idea for the females of the school to get used to men, including their misconstrued ideas of male puberty. And from here on, it's nothing but sex jokes and Suda's and Treasure Suju's reactionary humor. And as immature as it sounds, this is still some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen in the show. It's such a low-brow, common denominator comedy of personality that relies on being as subtly and not so subtly inappropriate as it can be, and is made with such intent to make weird jokes and jabs at social taboos that is wildly dumb and hilariously unapologetic. If you randomly watch a clip of the show's setup, you can immediately pick up on what the characters are about, the type of comedy you're in for, and how they do so much with very minimal establishment. It's kind of brilliant actually. The characters have a different brand of weird perversion with a few exceptions. President Shino lives in a sort of blissful ignorance while also being immaturely crass. Secretary Arya is a tactless airhead with a constant smile and a weird thought going through her brain. Suda and Suju are the ones with common sense and act as a straight man, with the latter also having a complex about her height. There's this English teacher whose thirst comes out in her lessons. There's another student council president from another school who's more mature but equally as crass as Shino. And there's also a naive karate girl whose brand of comedy is how ignorant she is to the gags. But my absolute favorite is Hata, the newspaper club president. Where do I start with this chick? She's the most deadpan character, yet she delivers the best setups and the best payoffs. She's a complete mystery. You never know what's going on in her head, whether it be to up the sales on her paper with gravure photos, coercion, twisting the facts after and during interviews, trying to start gossip, photographs without consent or care, and is in general one of the scariest people to run into regardless of circumstance because of the aforementioned. She's such an oddball character you can't entirely get a read on despite so much going on with her. And that's probably the best way to describe the show. Oddball and not completely readable despite the vast amounts of setup and payoff you get in the writing and the characters. And luckily, that's good for a comedy like this. There's this uneasy balance in the bizarre comedy and the straight man routine. It's there, but more often than not, it's the jokes that stick the landing most of the time. I can see that this may not be the right show for everyone. Even if it's not entirely predictable, it is still low humor and not every joke is translated perfectly. If you don't take it seriously, which you really shouldn't, it's a good catharsis for laying out your inner middle schooler. The running jokes aren't bad and the characters are incredibly enjoyable for how simple they write them. And like I said, it's so risque and so unforgiving in telling jokes that there's nothing to really get upset about either. But as far as dumb, fun comedies go, Seitokai Yakuindomo is one of the dumbest and one of the funnest out there.